Hey guys, it's Izzy here, and today we're going to be doing my October book haul, showing you all the books that I got in the month of October. And I went to the mountains this month, and I might have gone to a few indie bookstores. Therefore, I spent money on books once again. But there's a lot worse things that one could spend money on. So y'all need to be proud of me, that's just books. Let's get into this video. We will start with those that I did get in the mountains, and I will have a link to all the independent and secondhand bookstores that I went to if you guys would like to check out their websites down below in the comments, or not comments, the description box. So I always will say independent bookstores are usually more on the pricey side, but you are supporting a small business, so that's something great to do. So this one, okay, they're all randomly in here. Some of these are from, so the first one I went to though was Wall Street Books in Waynesville, North Carolina, which is more of a secondhand bookstore, and they do have book credit where you can bring in books that you're giving away, and that gives you store credit where you can get books. No, I did not know that, but next time I go, I definitely will be doing that. So I get three books that are set in the Outlander universe, but not following, like Claire's not the main character. So I got this one, and this is Lord John and the Private Matter by Daniel Gabaldon. So it's about Lord John Grey. I don't really know what happens because I've not got to this point in the series for some of these books, so I don't want to get spoiled. And then also from there, there's the card. It's all falling out. Okay, they gave me also cards for another store. So Wall Street Books is the one that these Outlander books came from, and then they gave me a card for Blue Moon Books in Canton, North Carolina. I haven't been there, so if I ever go to Canton, I should go there. I wonder, I'm assuming it's owned by the same people, or maybe they have a deal, who knows. So this is Seven Stones to Stand or Fall by Daniel Gabaldon, which is also in the Outlander universe. So I got those two at the Wall Street Books. And then the next two in here, I got Malaprops. I'm not sure how to say it, because I was not the one to find these stores. My dad was so kind to find me these stores, and we went to them. But this one is the more like indie bookstore, not secondhand. So these books were the ones that were on the pricier side, because at secondhand those books are cheap, but at the independently owned bookstores they're not. But I got Wilderness Tale, and Malaprops is in Asheville, and they have an Instagram page where they take pictures of the dogs that go to the store, which is super cute. I didn't know dogs could go to stores that have cafes in them, because I know at Barnes & Noble that's not allowed, but they do allow dogs. I saw a poodle, and it was her birthday, so I told her happy birthday. But yes, they do take pictures of the dogs that go there, so maybe if your dog is well behaved, take them there. But I got this book, which I had never heard of, and it's right at my alley. So this is Wilderness Tales, 40 Stories of the North American Wild. So this it's a short story collection. I don't even think it's all new authors, because there are some new, but there's also some classics. So dazzling collection of 40 stories about North American outdoor life, both classic and contemporary, from James Fenimore Cooper and Jack London to Margaret Atwood, Tommy Orange, and Anthony Doerr. He wrote one of my favorite books, and many more. So it's just a bunch. And there's even some local authors from the Asheville area who I saw who were on here, but I can't find his name now. The guy who wrote Cold Mountain, I'm blanking on his name, but I'm pretty sure he's in here. But Lauren Groff is, and she's one of my favorite authors from this year. And y'all know I love a good short story collection. I love stories of North American wilderness, and I mean, look at this cover, it's beautiful. Next, from that same store, I got this book called A Well-Behaved Woman by Therese Ann Fowler. If you don't, and it's a novel of the Vanderbilts. If you don't know, the Biltmore is in Asheville. I've personally never been to the Biltmore, but that was a home. I think it's the largest privately owned home in the United States, and belongs to the Vanderbilts. So this was in the local section. Alva Smith comes from a family with a good name and great debt after the Civil War. Then she meets William Vanderbilt, a self-made man who finds himself shunned by the old money donies. who control access to the city's social and political scene. Together, Mr. and Mrs. Vanderbilt begin to shake up the establishment and carve out a brand new world for themselves. But as Alpha will discover, a life of wealth, status, and privilege is not itself a recipe for happiness. Amen to that. Facing an unimaginable betrayal, Alpha must transcend societal expectations, prove her worth, and become the woman she is meant to be at all costs. Next bag of books I got in the mountains. So this one was also from Malaprops and indie regional fiction section. That's a thing when I go to independent bookstores, or really it can be any bookstore. So I went to Barnes & Noble. I didn't, but if I did, I like to get books that are about the area that I'm visiting or take place in the area I'm visiting. So this is Even As We Breathe by Annette Sanook Clapsaddle, who is a local author who, I'm trying to see if it says what town, I'm blanking, but she is a member of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, who is the local Native American tribe. So this is 19-year-old County Sequoia yearns to escape her hometown of Cherokee, North Carolina, in the heart of the Smoky Mountains. When a summer job at Asheville's luxurious Grove Park Inn and Resort brings him one step closer to escaping the hills that both cradle and suffocate him, he sees it as an opportunity. When the daughter of one of the residents goes missing, County finds himself accused of abduction and murder. So kind of thriller vibes there. Perfect for this time of year. This one has nothing to do with Asheville, but y'all know I'm kind of focusing on horror in October, so I did kind of put my buying in that avenue. And this is a book that I heard, I think, about on Boston's channel. I'll link their channel down below if you guys would like to check them out. But this is called The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. This is about vampires and all that kind of fun stuff. So breathtakingly suspenseful and beautifully written, The Historian is the story of a young woman plunged into a labyrinth where the secrets of her family's past connect to an inconceivable evil, the dark 15th century reign of Vlad the Impaler, and a time-defined pact that may have kept his awful work alive through the ages. That's right up my alley. The search for the truth becomes an adventure of monumental proportions, taking us from monasteries and dusty libraries to the capitals of Eastern Europe, and a feat of storytelling so rich, so how it hypnotizes you, but so exciting that it has enthralled readers around the world. Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. This book I learned about from Hardcover Hearts, and here is the bookmark of the store. Malaprops. Again, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I learned about this book through Sarah at Hardcover Hearts. We'll link her channel. This is The Romantic by William Boyd. And at first, when I first learned about it through her, I was like, ooh, I don't really know about the person that this book is about because it's historical fiction. But the more I've just gotten into the 1700s and all of that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to pick it up. This is a beguiling romp of a novel, once intimate and panoramic, about the adventures and misadventures of a 19th century everyman. So I guess that's the 1800s actually, but still really fascinated by that time period. So when I saw it, I had to pick it up. The last two are not from Malaprops, but I will tell y'all where they're from. So this book, The Women of the Smokies by Courtney Licks, No Place for the Weary Kind. This one was from a little gift shop in Waynesville. I think it was called Affairs of the Heart, something like that, but I will leave them linked with all the other stores. So this is just a whole lot gift shop, not just books, but I saw this book and thought it sounded fascinating, and it is by the Great Smoky Mountain Association, a nonprofit organization which supports the educational, historical, and scientific efforts of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is fantastic. But this is all about women of the Smokies, not just Mountaineers like that, but I will name some of them. From the legendary hiker Margaret Stevenson to famed singer-songwriter Dolly Parton, what did these 19 remarkable Smoky Mountain women have in common? Tenacity, perseverance, and an ironwood-like toughness in the face of adversity. Besides that, all had or have a deep love of the Great Smoky Mountains. Join author Courtney Licks as she celebrates the inspiring stories of these women's exciting and triumph lives. So Dolly, guys, Dolly. But I can't wait to learn about all of these women. It has pictures throughout and everything, and I just think this will be a great time. And then from Back to Wall Street books, this was the other Diana Gabaldon book I got. It is The Scottish Prisoner, and it has that acetate cover. I love those so much. They're great for ASMR, and this is another set in the Outlander universe, but not in the main series. Okay, now time for just random books. This one I got, did I get it on eBay? Maybe. Let's see, there's a paper in here. I got this on Amazon, but I got it secondhand, coming from Robinson Street Books in Binghamton, New York. Never been there, but it also has that acetate covering, which I love. I think I found this one on my journey across America on books, you know, that I have been doing. So this is Daughter of Mine by Herbert Gold. Let's see what it's about. Ann Sharper, bachelor translator for the San Francisco courts, is a man who has worn the same raincoat for 15 years, eats the same breakfast in the same coffee shop every morning, occasionally sees a few longtime male friends, and vaguely regrets a handful of former female lovers. In the 60s and 70s, Sharper was where the action was. San Francisco, where else, and joined in the festivities of moderately, but that was a long time ago. We love consistency, and we love that time period, and we love San Francisco. But okay, so Amanda arrives trailing a motley band of associates, a con man who explains his activities as part of his gypsy heritage, except that he may not have one. His blatantly seductive daughter, Amanda's boyfriend, Dwayne, a street-smart and unusually genial black giant. The con man owns what he has named Yerba Buena Foundation, dedicated to helping businessmen relieve stress. His daughter, well, she runs the place, and Dwayne is a security man. Others turn up seguin from various areas of Sharper's life. Amanda, part typical teenager, part young receptacle of ancient wisdom, is currently employed as a therapist at the foundation. So Herbert Gold has been blessing readers with his contemplation of the human condition for many years. In this novel, his lovely humor and deep understanding illuminate how a man walking a barren highway may react when fate suddenly shoves him onto an unpaved rutted dirt road. So that sounds good to me. I love reading about the human condition. Super interesting. This one that I guess I got on, I got this on Amazon. I do think it was on my journey of books, but it was one that I was interested in anyway, and that is Gilded Mountain by Kate Manning. Look at that cover, absolutely beautiful. This is set in the early 1900s Colorado, the unforgettable tale of a young woman who bravely faces the consequences of speaking out against injustice. Right at my alley. I love the American West. This one is going to be perfect for this time of year, and I think a lot of people around me, people I love, will love this book as well. It is A Mystery of Mysteries, The Death and Life of Edgar Allan Poe by Mark Dawid-Ziak. This is a brilliant biography of Edgar Allan Poe that examines the renowned author's life through the prism of his mysterious death and his possible causes. I remember learning about Edgar Allan Poe's death in my American English class, American literature class, and everybody love learning about it. Poe is just so well liked. It's crazy. By like normies, like, you know, the normal town folk love him. Everybody just loves Edgar Allan Poe, and it's honestly amazing. This one, I read a comment by the author, I think it was on Reddit, and that is All the Seasons Never Live by Judy Hovis. As you can see, this is in Paris. We see a short glimpse of Jackie's life, both as a child and an adult, before a horrific accident almost takes her life. At that point, we are catapulted back in time to the late 19th century. So again, 1800s, and yeah, how human life is different for everybody. This one I got at Barnes & Noble this month off the Southern Fiction table. You know I have to go to it. And it is The Floating Girls by Lo Patrick. So one hot, sticky summer in Bledsoe, Georgia, 12-year-old Kay Whitaker stumbles across a stilt house in a neighboring marsh upon Andy Weber, a boy about her age. He and his father have recently moved back to Georgia from California, and rumors of the suspicious drowning of Andy's mother years earlier have chased them back there and back. The Floating Girls is a wonderfully atmospheric Southern, love that, novel that will appeal to readers of Where the Crawdads Sing, hate that. At once wickedly funny and heartbreaking, it is an immersive coming-of-age, love that, story narrated by a feisty, smart, yet undeniably vulnerable girl reminiscent of a modern-day Scout Finch, love, a character who will live in the reader's hearts for a long time to come. So hopefully it does live up to all of that, except the Where the Crawdads Sing part, but that book could have been great, but it wasn't. As y'all know, I was wanting to stick to horror themes in October, and that leads us to The Marigold by Andrew F. Sullivan. This is in a dystopian near future Toronto. Love dystopia and near future. The Marigold, a gleaming condo tower, sits a half-empty promise, a stack of scuffed rental suites and undelivered amenities that crumbles around its residents as a mysterious sludge spreads slowly through it, rotting the building from within. While most surrender to the mold, too worn down to fight its hold on the city, some rise against it. But is Toronto already too far gone? Horror book that I got is one that I've been wanting to read since it was released, and that is The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward, who I've heard great things about that author. So in a boarded up house on a dead-end street at the end of the wild Washington woods lives a family of 3. A young girl who isn't allowed outside, not after last time, a man who drinks alone in front of his TV, trying to ignore the gaps in his memory, and a house cat who loves napping and reading the Bible. An unspeakable secret binds them together, but when a new neighbor moves in next door, what is buried out among the birch trees may come back to haunt them. The Last House on Needless Street is an immersive, shocking journey that will keep you guessing until the last page. Let's hope it can do that. Well, I wanted Dracula, but I didn't want to go all the way back to the classic section. It kind of stressed me out. It wasn't in the horror section, but Frankenstein was. But this is Dracula by Dacre Stoker and J.D. Barker. It is 1868, and a 21-year-old Bram Stoker, that's who wrote Dracula, waits in a desolate tower to face an indescribable evil. Armed only with crucifix, holy water, and a rifle, he prays to survive a single night, the longest of his life. Desperate to record what he has witnessed, Bram scribbles down the events that led him here. An Amazon purchase is An Unlasting Home by May Al-Nakib. I've read this description so many times, but y'all need to hear it because it sounds fantastic. The debut novel from an award-winning short story writer, a richly imagined saga spanning Lebanon, Iraq, India, and the United States and Kuwait that brings to life the triumphs and failures of 3 generations of Arab women. And let me show y'all. We have a map, which we love that. 1 family tree, 2 family trees, 3 family trees. I love family trees. I love maps, and this story sounds fantastic. This one is a middle grade book, which is kind of shocking because I haven't dallied in that in a while, but I heard about this book through Emmy. Again, I will link her channel down below, and she says this book should be required reading in school, so that's obviously very high praise, and that is The Dollmaker of Krakow. That's not how you say it, the place in Poland, but by R.M. Romero. This is, Carolina is a living doll whose king and queen in the land of dolls has been overthrown, and when a strange wind spirits her away, she soon finds herself in Krakow, Poland, in the company of the Dollmaker, a man with an unusual power and a marketed past. Why does that sound like the Barbie movie? But their newfound happiness is dashed when Nazi soldiers depend upon Poland. Carolina and the Dollmaker quickly realize that their Jewish friends are in grave danger, and they are determined to help save them no matter what the risk. I did order for Book of the Month because I have to. We'll link my Book of the Month link. I'm not sponsored, but if you guys would like to sign up there, I will have a link down below. My pick was The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, who I do know is a young adult author, and I unhauled some of her books. The author is also from the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina, and I'm pretty sure she's doing a signing at the Malaprops bookstore. She's doing an event there. I don't know if it's a signing, but about this book, so if you guys are in Asheville and would like to go to that. So a woman risks everything to end her family's century-old curse, solve her mother's disappearance, and find love in this mesmerizing novel from the best-selling author of Spells for Forgetting. That is so exciting, and it takes place in North Carolina, so it should be a lot of fun. Then my add-on is What We Kept to Ourselves by Nancy, can't read that font. Can't you read it? Juhan Kim. This is, again, historical fiction. So this is a timely and surprising new novel about a family's search for answers following the disappearance of their mother. So we have a plotline in 1999 and then one in 1977. Y'all know I love when books do the dual time. I know I've kept you guys here a long time, but I promise in November and December my book buying is not going to be as bad because I'm going to be buying books, but for other people, which is super exciting, and I can't wait to do that because I love the holiday season and I love giving. I love receiving and giving, but I mean, who doesn't? So this book I got on sale. It is called Papyrus, The Invention of Books in the Ancient World by Irene Velho. So this one I saw at Barnes & Noble, but it was cheaper to buy on Amazon. So I am preparing for Nonfiction November next month because I love Nonfiction November. I try to do it every year. So this is a rich exploration of the importance of books and libraries in the ancient world that highlights how humanity's obsession with the printed word has been echoed throughout the ages. That's so crazy to think of when books were first invented to where we are now. Just think about that. And I'm sure this book will give me even new thoughts about that. I mean, and look how beautiful this book is. And this is translated. I didn't know that, by Charlotte Whittle. So where is the author from? Spain. Cool. I did not realize. I don't think I've read any translated nonfiction, so that's really exciting. And then another book that I saw at Barnes & Noble, but was cheaper to get online, is On Savage Shores, How Indigenous Americans Discovered Europe by Carolina Dodds Pinnock. Caroline, not Carolina. But you always hear about what the European man thought coming to the New World, and you never really hear what the native peoples here thought about that. And I'm extremely fascinated by what they thought. So a landmark work of narrative history that shatters our previous Eurocentric understanding of the age of discovery by telling the story of the indigenous Americans who journeyed across Atlantic to Europe after 1492. Oh my, I didn't even think of that either, because Pocahontas, we know, did go to the UK, but obviously a lot more. I think it was on the Borgias we see Native Americans were brought to the Pope, and you never really think about that. How them going to Europe for the first time. This brain is working. But again, great cover here. Really like that cover. This is one that I really don't know where I saw it, but it was sent to me directly by the publisher, but through Amazon, Blackstone Publishing. So this is Beverly Bonefinch is Dead by Kirsten Seeley. This sounds so relatable. Let me tell you what this is about. So socially awkward, anxiety-riddled Beverly Bonefinch only loves 3 things in life: her parents, books, and a homeless man named Bill. Without them, the only way Beverly manages to get by each day is with the help of a peculiar coping mechanism that allows her to dissolve her feelings. It's only when a series of twists and turns threatens to unravel her new life and her mind that Beverly must determine if she's got it in her to stop trudging through life and finally start living it. Oh my gosh, that sounds so relatable. Kind of reminds me of Chloe Brown from Get a Life, Chloe Brown, who was one of the most relatable characters I've ever read. I think Beverly's going to be on that list for me too. Got Secondhand that I did see at Wall Street Books in Waynesville, but I was already buying 3 or 4 books, so I didn't get it. But this is Annapolis by William Martin. So I went to Annapolis in 2021, had a fantastic time, really like it, recommend going in there. And guys, this is a family tree from the 1600s to modern day. Y'all know that's right up my alley. So let me tell y'all, this is William Martin's previous historical novels, Back Bay and Cape Cod, have established him as one of the preeminent historical novelists of our time. Now he has written a book that pulses with the lifeblood of America as it fills a canvas of breathtaking scope. The eagerly awaited saga of war and warriors, peace and lovers. This was an epic story of a magnificent American military traditions, Annapolis. So going from basically the start of the country to modern day, all in a city that I really enjoy, in a state that I love, like it's one of my homes. Can't wait to get to it. And this is one that I've been seeing excerpts from, and that is Down the Drain by Julia Fox. Julia, she's a character, and I really just think she's a fascinating person, so I want to see inside her mind. So it says sometimes you have to say F it and throw your life down the drain just to see where you'll come out on the other side. The most profound beauty emerges from the ashes of destruction, and by that I mean that sometimes you have to burn your life to the ground in order to experience the life that is truly meant for you. If you believe in the power within yourself, anything is possible. Like, she is someone who I feel like just doesn't care, and I really appreciate that and wish more people were like that. So again, with all these, I can't wait to read them. I wouldn't have bought them if I couldn't wait to read them. Here's another, I don't know if this was when I saw Barnes & Noble. I'm not sure. But this is American Nations, A History of the 11 Rival Regional Cultures of North America by Colin Woodward. And it says, why do Americans have such a difficult time agreeing on basic issues like the meaning of freedom, the role of religion in public life, or what it means to be an American? So we're going through all different regions of America and seeing how that happens. This book I saw at Malaprops, but again, I was already buying so many, I didn't want to add another book to my stack. And again, it was cheaper to do it through Amazon. And this is Serena by Ron Rash, who I have read a book from. It's probably, no, it's not on that shelf, but it's on one of my red shelves. I still own it. And that book was a gift, so diving back into his books. The year is 1929, and newlyweds George and Serena Pemberton travel from Boston to the North Carolina mountains, where they plan to create a timber empire. Although George has already lived in the camp long enough to father an illegitimate child, Serena is new to the mountains, but she soon shows herself to be equal of any man, overseeing crews, hunting rattlesnakes, even saving her husband's life in the wilderness. Serena, you sound like quite the woman, and can't wait to meet her and read this book. This one is one I got on sale on Amazon, independently published, and that is The Queen's Poisoner, the King Mountain series by Jeff Wheeler. So a boy will rise to manhood and to greatness. I don't know if that's young adult or adult. And then we have two more books that I have to show you here. The first being a love story, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, who I learned about through Jamie. We'll link her channel. This is, again, a romance. So I wanted to lose myself in the small town of Pelion, Maine, to forget everything I had left behind. The sound of rain, the blood, the coldness of a gun against my skin. For 6 months, each breath has been a reminder that I survived and my dad didn't. I'm almost safe again, but the moment I meet Archer Hill, my entire world tilts on its axis and never rights itself again. And I got this on eBay, and the seller sent me this really cool bookmark that has your reading list. You can put your name, the name, date, star, title, date, and star rating. I thought that was really cool, and honestly, like, they didn't need to do that, but they did, and it's amazing. And my last one of the nonfiction books that were at Barnes & Noble, but I wanted to get cheaper, and that is The Middle Kingdom, A New History of Central Europe by Martin Ratty. And I honestly don't know a ton about Central Europe, and I want to know more. So Central Europe has long been a contested space where empires clashed and world wars began. But these disputed lands, stretching from present-day Germany and Switzerland to Poland and Ukraine, have always been more than just a battleground between West and East. Even as Central Europe's kingdoms warred with foreign invaders and with one another, the region developed its own cohesive politics, society, and culture, a distinctive identity crucial to understanding the trials that confront Europe today. So drawing on a lifetime of research and scholarship, The Middle Kingdom tells, as never before, the captivating story of 2,000 years of Central Europe's history and its enduring significance. So I hope to learn a lot in there. Those are all of the books that came into my possession in the month of October of 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one. If you made it all the way through, leave a pumpkin emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!